Good evening, everyone. Welcome tonight to my scope. Thank you for everyone who is joining me this evening. I hope you all had a wonderful Halloween evening. I know I definitely enjoyed the extra hour we got last night. It was actually super interesting to me to watch time go from like 1:59 back to 1 o'clock. I was actually watching the time as it happened, and it was just like a really interesting experience. It felt surreal. So thank you for everyone who is just joining. Welcome to my Periscope. My name is Dianese, and for those of you who are new, I'd love to give you a special welcome. So please type into the comments that you're new and your name so I can give you a warm welcome. Also, I'd love to get as many people on this Periscope as possible, so you can click on the little guy or swipe to the right and invite people onto the scope this evening. So as you all know, just by the title of the scope tonight, we will be talking about pleasure toys. And I'm gonna keep it pretty general just as an intro, and then I will be doing follow-up scopes, part 2 and part 3, and as many parts as it takes to really go deeper into each category of pleasure toys. So please do ask any questions as they come up as I talk about general categories. And, I hope you all enjoy tonight's session. So welcome to everyone who's just joining. Tonight's topic, once again, sex toys. And I want to start by just talking a little bit about the importance of this movement, right? So, sex toys have not been around forever, but they've been around for quite a while. And up until, I think still to this day, in some states, you can't have a sex toy. So that's a thing. But really, sex toys are just beginning to get, a lot more public acceptance. It's being talked about in movies and really even seen as a tool that can be used to really heighten someone's experience and help people who are going through challenges within their own sexuality really explore and connect to their bodies. So that's really a new phenomenon. That's a new movement. For a long time, you were shamed if you had a sex toy, and sex stores were not seen as commonly as we see them now. This is really just new in, I would say, the last 20 years that this has been happening. However, sex has always sold, right? The sex toy industry is well and thriving. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about this industry. Let's talk about what are the benefits of sex toys? How can they be of use for our self-exploration and expression? And, just going through a quick guide of what's out there and how we can best use them, okay? So to begin, there's sex toys for men, there's sex toys for women, there's sex toys designed for people transitioning from transgender. There's sex toys for lesbian couples, there's sex toys for gay couples. There is a lot of variety out there. There is also sex toys depending on your lifestyle or kinks, right? So there's a bunch of BDSM equipment, and I will do another session on all of that. But for tonight, we're gonna leave it as BDSM equipment is a category. And if you're wondering like what might fit into that category, floggers, whips, chains, handcuffs, paddles, masks, those are usually items that are used in the BDSM lifestyle. 50 Shades, love the revolution that has happened since it came out. Don't really love the writing. Also not factual to what the lifestyle is like. So like 50 Shades for what it does, really allowing people to be more adventurous about their own self-expression, but it's not all that it's written. So to talk about, a couple of other categories, I'm going to talk a little bit about female sex toys and sex toys to really facilitate female pleasure. And the first and most basic, but always a good place for anyone to start is a vibrator, right? Oh, sorry, that's my dog. Apologies. She doesn't like hearing noises. And, a vibrator, the most common vibrator that you might have heard of is a bullet. And it's usually just intended for clitoral stimulation or nipple stimulation, but really outside of any internal cavity. So that is the primary use of a vibrator. The bullet, like I said, is one of the most basic and simplest to kind of use. So I definitely do recommend, if you've never experienced a vibrator, if you've never gone out there and bought one, and you're interested in this type of play and this tool, I would recommend investing in a vibrator. And really a bullet being where you first start. So there are other forms of vibrators. They come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them are intended only for external play, like I said, and some of them are intended for internal play, right? So some vibrators might have both an external clitoral stimulator and an internal penis-like shape for penetration. And those are still vibrators as long as it has a motor and it's operating from a motor, it's considered a vibrator. All right. Another category is a dildo, and dildos are like a model of a phallic model, right? A shape of a penis, and those tend to not vibrate, and that's kind of a differentiation because really vibrators have been revolutionized. It's no longer just like a neck massager, which actually was for a long time the go-to house product that was a vibrator. So dildos are more just for penetration. They don't vibrate. They also come in different shapes, sizes, colors. There's really a wide variety of vibrators out there. There's and dildos. There's dual dildos, which are with a double end, and those are for lesbian play. And then there's dildos specifically intended for anal sex. There's mounts that you can plug onto the wall. There's definitely also when it comes to dildos, there's a range of sizes, right? So you can really go based on your preference there. Some of them come in different materials, right? So you might have rubber, you might have silicone, and there's also glass. Glass is a really big one that has a lot of stigma. People don't really get why it's made from glass, and that's uncomfortable. But one of the elements of glass is that it can be tempered, right? So you can make it really cold by freezing it, or you can make it really hot by like throwing it in some boiling water. So, and a lot of people might enjoy that, the temperature play. You also have, as a third big category, are butt plugs, right? So butt plugs are specific for anal play. There's vibrating butt plugs. There's butt plugs made out of glass. There's all types of butt plugs. There's anal beads, which are, you know, an extension of butt plugs. So those are also intended for pleasure. Another thing I'm going to talk a little bit now to the male audience there's prostate massagers, right? And as some of you might have heard a few nights ago, we get pleasure from anal play, and specifically for men, the prostate can be very pleasurable. So there's prostate massagers, right? And the last item that I wanted to talk about this evening are flashlights or masturbation sleeves. And those are intended really for self-play, for masturbation. And it gives the impression or the feel of constriction and being inside of a body cavity. So those are the major categories for sex toys. I do want to show you all one website. I do not get any credit from this company. I just really have heard from my clients great reviews about this company. They really know how to do pleasure toys. So I am going to flip my screen so you can all see. And this is the website. It's called Lilo, the brand, and these are rechargeable. And one thing I will say about toys is that you can get toys at different price ranges, right? There's toys you can buy for $5, even cheaper. And then there's toys that you can spend $500 on. And in my experience, in my professional opinion, it's really about making an investment. Then that might mean for you right now, that means $50 versus $5. It might mean, you know, you really want to commit to something more high end. But really, you know, our pleasure is such a big part of what drives us. And I really encourage us all to really explore, you know, you spend as much on batteries as you do on a rechargeable toy. So I recommend that everyone have a rechargeable toy, right? It's more green. The motors actually run better. They last longer. They're usually made of silicone, which is medical grade silicone, which is much healthier. And just to mention, talking about toys, is the importance of using a specific sex toy cleanser for your toys. So some people might be using hand soap or Dial or alcohol. None of these items are safe for cleaning of a sex toy. It is important to really take this to heart and go out there and spend between $5 and $10 for a good sex toy cleanser, because what happens with sex toys is they all have a coating, a protective coating to keep out whatever chemicals from entering our bodies, right? When we wash it with anything that is not approved and tested to clean those toys, what ends up happening is that protective layer gets stripped, and the toy then can become sticky. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is that you can really get some toxic shock syndrome or anything else, an infection from these chemicals. So I really do encourage going out there and investing in a sex toy cleanser, keeping it healthy, right? With sex toys as well, some things that I should mention from a health point of view, you want to make sure to clean after every use and to not share sex toys. If you are sharing them, you should be using it with a condom so that there's no exchange of bacteria with other people. So really, those are some of like the health tips around sex toys. I hope that you have all enjoyed this, learned something, And we will continue to talk about all of these different categories more in depth as we get more acquainted, as we continue our growth process together. So until tomorrow, I hope that you have a very passionate night. Love you all. Bye.